Hello dear friends, colleagues, students. Here's another vocal tip video. My name is Dmitry Gishpling-Chernov. I'm an operatic tenor and a vocal coach. This time I want to talk about vibrato. This is a very vital subject. I get a lot of questions in private also to make a video about vibrato, and basically it's not a lot to talk about. What I want to show is the difference between what I would call a fake vibrato and a true vibrato, a real vibrato. And in a room, they may to somebody sound maybe a little bit equal, but the effect that they make on the sound, on the acoustics is huge, and the difference is really big between those two. I want to say again, as I always do, that most of my videos are not for beginners. They are for developed students and professional singers. This one actually is more global, but generally to do what I'm showing here and to use the exercises, mostly you already have to have a correctly built, at least the basics of the techniques, and understand what's going on before you can apply what I show. Because if you do it wrongly, you may hurt your voice, and nothing can replace real work with the teacher under control, building this instrument, because otherwise you just will make so many mistakes without the control that you will not be able to go through. First, a bit of theory and the physical approach to the vibrato. So vibrato, let's call it vibration from Italian. A true vibrato is a result of the support, the diaphragm, the support of the air stream that goes up. A video about support you will find right here. I explain everything there. The air goes all the way up and meet a resistance of the vocal cords, which are closing and not letting the air go through freely, but only squeezing there with the opening and closure of the vocal cords, and that's the way the sound is created. And the side effect of it is what I would call under vocal cords air pressure. Okay, we really feel it when we support. When we don't support, we don't feel it. When those muscles are cooperating together, it's about coordination. They should be trained, but it's mostly about coordination and navigation, like a puzzle. And when it works, so the air pressure from here actually, and the fact the vocal cords resist this air pressure, it creates under vocal cords air pressure, which is the main power in reality of the core power of our sound. And this particular feeling is support. With the right stable larynx position, a video about larynx position, very important. I say everything there about the subject. We have a stable, let's say, air squeezing through the vocal cords and the function of the sound. And only then we have some manipulations here with the tongue and the mouth and the position and the tilting of the larynx to create passaggio and so on. And so, a true vibrato is a process in which the air pressure here creates pulsation. You know it from physics. There are small pulsations like waves that also translated to bigger and bigger, like amplifying bigger waves. And so these small pulsations of the vocal cords that creates the pulsation here creates also bigger waves, natural, and a result of it is vibrato. So if we take this thing and we also put it on the bones, while all other muscles which are not necessary are released, and let the bones vibrate, then we get a very strong mechanism of amplification of the sound. It's not just natural and beautiful. It's literal air pushes. It's literal air waves, sound waves that are created. And this vibrato, beside making the sound more round, more beautiful, more stable, it's actually some kind of speaker, because this is an amplification. It takes the air waves of our sound and increase them and amplify them in some kind of waves movement, a bit like so it's a bit like if I make some kind of support but move the resistance from here, I really feel it. And so the effect of it on the acoustics translated to sound waves, air waves, is very, very big. And as bigger is the room, as the better is the acoustic, as more we can enjoy the fruits of this mechanism. Now, this is the true vibrato. It has nothing to do with shaking, okay? And the main difference is that in shaking or fake vibrato, the mechanism of its creation is completely different. We mostly don't have any support, because part of real support is a stable larynx position. So we don't have a real support, and we have the larynx moving up and down, actually shaking. And that means that the tube, the sound tube in which we have the larynx box and the vocal cords, are getting bigger, smaller, okay? If we take it and look from above, if we cut and look from above the tube in which we have the vocal cords vibrating and the air goes through, getting like this, pulsating like this, and we see it as a larynx which goes up and down. Now, because it changed the whole space there, it changed the quality of the sound. It doesn't affect the volume so much, and it doesn't create airwaves. What it does is only shaking the sound, like which has nothing to do with okay? So it actually takes the sound stream that exists and disturbing it, like disturbing it. Now, of course, I will demonstrate it now. I don't think that the mic will really translate the huge difference in the room. Another thing I will say, and some people will not like to hear it, but this fake vibrato we hear a lot while we hear what so-called small voices. Obviously, voices can be bigger and smaller naturally, but many of the singers and the students I see who has been told that they have a small voice, it's not about the voice, it's the technique. They don't support really. The larynx is high, so the space is small. There is no place to develop the voice. They study with teachers who only talk about mask, and position, but without the power mechanism under it, there is no mask and no position. So they usually sing with this kind of concentrated, often nasal, video about nasal, not nasal, right here, often nasal sound, and the vibrato, because they have ears, they want to make vibrato, and they make it by moving the larynx. So the voice is not really small, the technique is small, and they often don't even aware of the real voice they have and they could use if they would have a good technique. And of course, many who do it are Baroque singers. That's why they can easily make a straight tone. For a singer with a support, to make a straight non-vibrated tone is not easy, because vibrato is something very free and natural. And a lot of contratenors, guys who sing with falsetto. I very rarely see guys, contratenors, who sing, let's say, who have the same approach as chest voice. Another video of me about falsetto and chest voice approach right here. And that's why they sing with this high resonant but very poor and very small falsetto voices. They also often use this kind of vibrato falso. You see a lot of times these contratenors have a lot of facial movements, very kind of unnatural, like this and like this. They do all kind of things with the muscles to kind of get this resonance. In reality, it's completely the opposite from bel canto, which requires a full breath support also, which is possible in the falsetto low larynx, and so the difference between relaxed and very loud, and unsupported shaking sound. In the first case, the falsetto creates airwaves. In the second, it's just disturbing by changing the size here in the throat. But falsetto is not my thing. I will show it as a tenor. You can do, for example, dalla sua pace. I'll try to show you the fake vibrato. If I try to take without much breath, unsupported sound, and I concentrate on the mask, and I do something like, okay? Dalla sua pace. I exaggerate a bit because I don't sing like this. Many times with this kind of singers you will see other stuff here, shaking the tongue, things are shaking, because physically everything here is shaking, like this. It has nothing to do with vibrato. Versus the real vibrato, pay attention to my larynx, it's freely swimming but not moving and not shaking, and the vibrato is mainly thing, and the side effect of it is also vibration, of course, of the bones. It feels very strong for the singer, but it doesn't feel here. Something. Dalla sua pace, dalla sua pace, what I feel is air stream going like this, like a stream of water, like a waterfall of water going out of the mouth. It's like 5 times louder. I can feel these airwaves from the walls of the room. I don't feel anything here. And this vibrato is amplifying the sound, amplifying the air vibrations that are created here with the support, and flying into the concert hall. When you have the real vibrato, a lot is going on around. In the ears, it feels almost like this. It's quite big. Here, it may shake and feel like this. You feel physically the air around you. You also feel vibration here. Versus It's related, of course, to what Pavarotti said. A good bel canto, a good singing, is a high controlled screaming. Screaming on the support. It feels like bzzz, like a buzz here around the ears, this vibrato, because everything is moving. Summary. Right vibrato, support of the diaphragm, air pressure under the vocal cords that resist. This air pressure creates bigger waves. These waves are going around the bones, and everything makes the air to vibrate around us. And like waves of water, it the air amplifies our volume of the sound. It creates more overtones, they fly forward, and of course, studying singing partially is learning how to navigate, not press, but navigate this vibrato, and not to go to an extreme, because an extreme is shaking, but shaking here, and all the singers sound, so this is a caricature, this is this kind of over vibrato with the body. We want to avoid it. A straight tone is very hard for somebody who sings with support. For Baroque singers, who mostly, not all of them, but mostly sing with a very small technique, to do something like cara sposa, cara sposa, something like this. It's very easy. If I take a supported sound, it's by itself, it starts vibrating because I'm relaxed. I have to really hold not to let this thing to happen. But it's very hard. If I just release, I get a vibrato and it feels like this whoa, 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 whoa all around, and amplifies the sound. This is an indicator of a right vibrato. If the larynx is moving, if you feel something here, if the sound is not getting amplified by this vibrato, but especially if the larynx is moving and things are shaking, you don't have a real vibrato, and probably you don't have support, because a vibrato is coming as a side effect while you start supporting. And the moment the real supported sound, not but sits on this breath, the vibrato naturally starts working, because this is a very natural mechanism. Very pleasant, by the way, not just natural. Stable vibrato, real vibrato. All airs, breath, support, proper work of the muscles, navigation, coordination, training, and as a result, vibrato and legato. I hope it was clear. For any questions, you can write me in private or comment here. Please like the video if you found it useful for you. Subscribe to my channel for more vocal tips about anything related to voice, singing, and teaching. For any collaboration, my email and all information is down below. I live in Berlin, but I work internationally. See you in the next one. Ciao, ciao.